you how they see you to you and built your ego for you. It's up to you to say, okay, I accept this part of my ego, but I don't accept that part. That gotta go, because that right there don't serve my highest good. This the shadow work, reorganizing the negative traits in humans that allow them to mistreat other humans, right? So you don't want to be a cannibal. So why would you allow cannibals to continue to eat people, right? You don't think pedophilia is right, but we don't say enough to stop it. We don't put an end to it by properly rearing children, by protecting them and keeping them from being abusers, because hurt people hurt people. And when you hurt people in a certain way, that's the same way they hurt other people. And that's what makes the generational curses perpetual. The building of a strong family bond is giving everybody their tools that they need to develop their own best life scenario in their life. Once you do that, you become the great facilitator of good things, because now you understand that uh, uh, I don't know what this damn thing doing, but I need to figure out how to. Okay, so they fucked up our families. So it's up to us to put it together, put it back together. We can't expect none of the adversaries, the ones who miseducated us, the ones who kept their foot on our neck, the ones who tried to replace us. We can't never expect them to teach us proper leadership skills and proper family building skills. So we have to go into our culture and figure out how to take those best training tools that we learned from our parents and pass that on, so that you have an actual viable understanding of relationship and relationship development, and how to build strong bonds between yourself and others. And you learn this. If you are a single child, you don't get the same luxury of having siblings to grow up with, where you have to share things, right? Where one of y'all get to be the hand-me-down recipient while the rest of them be able to get the original product, right? Because y'all growing at a different rate. They different, a little older than you, right? So when you start to put relationship matters um, out of the picture of community development, then the relationships start to suffer, because nobody is understanding the functional nature of the relationship and the balancing of the energies between the two, right? So my pet peeve is, I don't tolerate no bitching. I don't want to hear that shit. We can talk about anything under the sun, but don't that nagging, bitching, incessantly shit. I'm done. I don't do that shit. So, and that's one of the first prerequisites that I put on the table is, as long as you don't do that, you ain't gonna have no problem out of me, because that's where my peace is at. And you can't never be at peace if your counterpart is constantly bitching about every little thing under the sun that really don't matter, because now you can't relax at home. You stay on edge. So now you don't even want to be a fucking home no more. That ain't the kind of environment that I think is functional for the development and the rearing and raising the children. Because if the man is so miserable being at home that he stays out, that's is it back on? Can somebody tell me if this thing is working right now? Can y'all hear me? Am I frozen or am I just being still? I don't know. Because I was looking in the camera to see what was up. Can y'all hear me? If y'all can hear me, because if y'all can hear and see me clearly talking and I'm moving, press 1. If y'all can't, press 6. So, that's how we're going to do this. Because I also have to give the report, the update on Haiti and the closing of the um, conjure. This is really a big deal. This shit is amazing to me because to see it and see what's taking place in real time, that shit is amazing. It's like uh, be, being bedazzled by shiny shit. That same kind of energy. Like when the little kid see somebody do something that's to them amazing, that awe-inspiring energy. That shit. So, Haiti, we found everybody, the 2 priestesses, the bookman, um, 2 son, Divine Insight, and John Dessalines. So, all of the pieces is in play. Now, watch Haiti, because as soon as that message get to the key people that it need to get to, and they do the Oshun ritual, all them people down there gonna turn into the Haitian ass-kissing forces. Yeah, I'm not sure. That I'm having technical difficulties. If this one started doing what the other one did, I'm just gonna come back on later or tomorrow. Cause I'm supposed to be on the phone with Daniel, but I had to do this live because I had to get this information out before too late. So the guy that's the leader of the current situation in Haiti, they call him Barbecue, ex-police officer who became a freedom fighter when he realized that something wasn't right. Now, y'all need to pay attention to something. They call in the people that's leading the foot soldiers in Haiti, the people of Haiti, gang leaders. And they saying that they need outside forces to come in and put down the gang leaders. Don't that sound familiar? They want to use force, military strength to overthrow. They want to use military might from more powerful nations to come in and put down the gang leaders. Gang mean tribe, people. You don't see what's going on. Yeah, they fucking with it too. But I gotta keep on treading through this shit as best I can. So in Haiti, Barbecue sent the knocks, so we sent the knocks back to him. And so we waiting on the connections to meet, because it's gonna go from drama in the streets like it is now to celebration across the land of Haiti. And Haiti is the epicenter. Epicenter. Epi? center. Epi is like the pinpoint in the middle. And the meta is the single part crystal of the whole. Is this one that we watching? Is this live that we on playing? Y'all waiting on the other one that I just posted to load? Is that what y'all saying, Kelly? KD79. Knockback. My creep said, make it grimy to sell. He said, fuck it, platinum back, send them haters to hell. I done a few years with Coop the Real. KD in the back and he packing the steel. Avoiding homicide, but you know a nigga will hit your ass with that motherfucking reel. That was the good old days of musical expression. Good old days of musical expression when I could get some shit off my chest in the song. Yeah. Listen to this shit. Some elevated grammatical sweep the seat shit. Heavy ass bass in the beat shit and on the break strong from the weak shit. I'm talking insane shit and on the rearranged brain shit. Quick to set a motherfucker ass aflame shit. Like a bitch with that leave me alone shit like Nitty Gay. Nest tax records on Caponche or the streets alone. You can't wrong shit. Better wear a vest in your fucking home shit. Kick that level shit. Too heavy for a motherfucking shovel shit. And get your ass out of town on the double shit. For my niggas pop you in your motherfucking bubble shit. Even got knowledge shit on the tape. Take a nigga to college shit that never do a nigga with some motherfucking scholar shit. Knowledge that'll get them motherfuckers dollars quick. Now for that coded military shit. Bombs too heavy for a terrorist to carry shit. The coup d'etat invaded land, motherfucking scary shit. I see all y'all in here and saying I only got 2 people in here, 3 people. I see at least 10 people in the comments that's visible. And I don't even think I'm getting all of the comments. Ain't nobody told me they can hear me or not hear me. I don't even know if I'm just over here talking to my goddamn self right now. So I'm just trying to wait till somebody asks a question or something to make me know I'm on. Shit. Right? So, anyway, when the Haitians call for the return of the sweet water, yeah, they blocking my shit. Let me try this. Hmm. I don't know whether to continue on or stop the video. Shit. Y'all can't hear nothing. Y'all can't see nothing. It's not moving at all. It's frozen. Can y'all hear my voice? Not a good connection. Y'all not getting nothing. Okay.
I ain't never been on here before, so I don't know how to really work this.
Well, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? You know, I've been
I'm
in your
doing
inbox
good.
trying to get with you for a minute because I am just confused. I'm lost. I've been doing the ancestry or whatever, just getting information. on my name, my last name, right? I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago. My mother, everyone. My grandparents, both mother and father, on both sides, are Mississippians, supposedly from Mississippi. My last name given to me, all my life I've been told it was Cherokee Indian.
It was what?
Cherokee Indian.
Cherokee? Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
so no one. It's funny because no one like know any information. And my grandfather he passed in '83 before I was born. But my grandmother, my mother, her no one has any information in regards to this man and his family. But it's a lot of us drink waters in Chicago, and I just don't understand that. So when I
Okay, now
started,
let me tell you our culture. This might help you understand it. Some of the men in the era had more than one wife.
mm,
And when the invaders came, if they knew us because we would have more than one wife, and they'd murder us, which made the women then tell him, "You gonna either stay the fuck over there, or you just gonna stay over here. You not gonna be jumping back and forth." So he might have had multiple households that all of them got the same last name, and they might not. None of them know each other,
wow, that's interesting.
right? But it was done. It used before the invaders came. Everybody would have knew. It wouldn't have been no secrets. But they was using that as the means to murder us. So the women became protective and made the man have to choose to be with only one part of his family.
Mm, that makes sense. They had 9 children together, but supposedly my mother in specific, is not his. Which I honestly, in my heart, I feel some truth to that, and that's what I was saying when I was asking you a question about if I'm real. I didn't get a chance to finish typing because I'm like my grandmother, and I've been very peaceful, and I know that I get that probably from over there, and so it's important for me
The
to
most
have that
important
book.
thing for you after what you went through, the most important thing that you know is the why did they put that in our culture? They wanted to traumatize you as early as possible, as severe as possible, because 9 out of 10, you have the blood right to claim a position of prominence in our community, and they wanted to tarnish you mentally, to scar your mind. So they abused the body in order to dement the mind, to keep you from ever wanting to know who you was.
Mhm.
Because the follow up to what they physically do in the process of rape is the shaming campaign that follows,
Mm.
which makes women not ever.
Some don't want me.
So they go through life trying to hold it in until it explodes,
Mm.
right? This, as long as you holding that in, you can never attain your highest height because that type of trauma keeps you always on the defense and always in a fear mode.
And like my grandmother, her sisters and her brothers, they know, but no one will ever open up their mouth to say yay or nay if my grandfather, as I know, is my mother's father. But I feel entitled to my name. I feel entitled to my name. My baby son, I had to name him after me instead of all of the other children is my husband, but I had to name my baby son a drink water purposely because he's the last one.
Okay, stop. What you telling me is something that's common in our culture.
Okay.
Whether that guy was your mother's biological father or not,
Mhm.
there is a strong love bond.
Mhm.
The love bond is stronger than the blood bond.
Okay.
And your mother is the one telling you to name your son. Is she still here?
Yeah, but she didn't want me to have him.
So is her mother still here?
No.
That's who it is. She driving that car. She's the one telling you to name him that.
Mhm.
She's saying that your grandfather was a good ass man no matter what the fuck he did. He
Okay.
took care of his business and his family. So she creates in you from the mother line, she's able to tell you because you are oracle, right? You just haven't been accepting of your own gifts.
Mhm.
You kind of run from them a little bit.
Mhm. I'm
But
working
she
on
can
it.
communicate with you strong. And she's the one who was putting it on your heart to name your son that after him. That's a
Mhm.
love bond and a love relationship that's stronger than any blood relationship.
My grandmother was a hard ass vice lord though. She ain't play. She was straight. My
She
most,
probably was
my
one of
ever,
hey, she probably was one of my mama friends.
and you know my family still carry it. We're from
Look,
44th and Cicero, Leclerc Court.
yeah, my mom and them used to be all through there. My father used to run on 43rd in Prairie and Calumet.
That's
My
crazy.
uncle used my uncle had a gambling joint on 43rd and Calumet in the basement.
That's crazy. And then my daddy is summer rolls, so they from down there too. But I haven't even stepped into them summer rolls over there. But my daddy is a summer roll, so it's like everyone in Leclerc Court, I am related to in some form of way. Some form of a way.
Yeah.
Everybody is my cousin. But thank you. You gave me something. That Oracle situation, I really am working on that because I don't know how to get around it to like open up to it.
Okay, so look, you gotta determine what training wheels you need. The training wheel you'll be drawn to by the energy that connects you to your family line. It's gonna either be tarot cards or crystal ball or the rune stones, or it could be the I Ching. Just look into it. Don't make your mind up about nothing. Just look into them,
Mhm.
and then you'll get a feeling, and you'll know. I need a crystal ball, or I need a mirror, scrying mirror. You know, you'll just know, and that's when you'll start the training to tune in to the inner voice,
Okay. Thank you.
and you do do you got a picture of your granny?
I can get one. I don't have one. I can get one. Yeah. Yes, I do have one.
Because if you make an ancestral altar, put two white candles, one on each side of the picture,
Mhm.
right? And you can honor her with water. But if you know what she like if you know she says she die her vice lord, she might want to smoke Newports
She
and
want a
drink motherfucking
Budweiser.
Hennessy,
She want a
right?
Budweiser and some
So
damn
when
French
you
fries.
honor her, you give her what made her happy.
Okay.
Don't nobody else gotta agree with it. Don't nobody else gotta understand it. But it's called creating a sympathetic link.
Okay.
Right. So then it'll start getting where you'll be comfortable feeling her energy to the point when you'll know she there. It'll almost be like you come in to greet her with a beer and you can hear her saying, "Hey baby, brought my beer. Come
And
on in here and
that's
grab
how
my."
I think I do with my cousin, but I'm in the
Right.
world also.
So when you dealing with the author, listen for her voice. And all of the chatter that go on in this box, say just cut it all off. Say, go on, I just want to hear grandma.
Mhm.
Right? And she'll push her way through the crowd to the front.
And I think that's what my auntie do in my dreams. My auntie Jackie, she does that in my dreams. I dream about her a lot, but I seem to think or hear my cousin Demetrius more. But I know that my grandmother is in here and she is driving.
She could be the one trying to tell you to bump them straight. Look, but they are cold. They masters of trying to make people do what's right.
Mhm.
Right. We just got invaded from a mirror dimension where they elders only wanted to do what's wrong. But in
Mm.
their dimension, everything wrong to us is right to them.
Everything is opposite.
Yep. Upside down and backwards. So your granny will send you who you need to correct or who you need to work with in order to heal the family line,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So Granny orchestrating it. She y'all big mama. She was the matriarch. So when she go on the other side, she gonna orchestrate it into the matriarch that's got the most links in the physical world cross over again, and then they gonna work together,
I don't know. I don't
right?
understand that part, but I'll figure it out. I'm gonna ponder
It's
upon it.
like a baton race, relay race with the baton,
Mhm.
right? When the matriarch that just crossed over go over, they give her the baton. Okay, you run this race now, and you communicate with them motherfuckers down there because you the one was down there with them,
Mhm.
right? Because it's gonna be a whole new generations that rise up. That the one that's on the other side, they didn't work with the energy before, but from that side, but now when the new matriarch cross over, she have to work with that energy because she know everybody intimately and up close, personal in both physical and spiritual.
And she understands
Where
my
the other,
language. She
right?
understands
Where
my
the other
language.
one, yeah,
I speak
where,
to her and sing to her, and she understands what I'm. I know who you're talking about.
hmm
That's the right
so
language.
that's how they operate. It's a relay race. It's the same here. We the elders now. There was a time when we was the children and we was the promise for the future. But there was
Mhm.
only one promise for the future, and that was for redemption for all the dirt we didn't was suffered through the past.
Mhm.
So now we came back to recover, redeem, and restore everything that they tore down.
And
As Pac say, we back for everything they owe.
yeah, this investigation book, just like you said. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You welcome.
My heart is beating fast. So thank you. I appreciate you, Grand Wizard.
Okay, sweetie. You be in touch. I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you. Good
All
night.
right. Yeah. Okay. Look and see if I got a question before I cut out. You don't need permission to take your child out of school as long as you disassociate from this whole system. Watch the animals. When the animals disappear from any area, it's time to get the fuck low. If the animals run the high ground, that's where you need to go. If the animals run to the low ground, that's where you need to go. If they run to the high ground, most likely it's water coming. If they run to the low ground, most likely it's weather, wind related coming, right? And just pay attention to the animals from wherever you at, and you should know what to do from there. I'm gonna take one more call, y'all. Or maybe I'm not. Yeah. All right, so that's a wrap on this one. Be ye warned, don't fuck with them chosen ones. You know, this is one of the few things that y'all need to get. Them certain ones, y'all don't need to be messing with them. Jackie Wilson, baby, y'all need to leave that girl alone. Let her go on about her business. Cause y'all mess around trying to put conjure spells on her and that shit come back 10,000 times fold. Don't say you wasn't warned. Leave that girl alone. That Blue Rose Tarot, Blue Rose, don't be over there fucking with that woman, heckling her on her shit. She minding her business, trying to do what's right, following spirit. The guy gonna whoop y'all ass, and the guy gonna come from within you. It ain't gonna come from outside you. But y'all can't be fucking with them chosen ones. No, that shit over with. And we not even like our ancestors, our elders, because we not kissing y'all ass this time. We kicking it. And that's the way it is. So let y'all be warned. Before y'all start fucking with the ones that's trying to do what's right, you either should help them or get the fuck out the way. Don't try to interfere with them doing what's obviously the right thing to do. Right? So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank y'all for coming over. Hope I was able to be of some good service and assistance to y'all. And I'm off and running to the next day. Right?
Mm-hmm.
His secret society is the one running the show.
Mm.
So now we looking at George Herbert Walker Bush,
Niggas going there. Skull and Bones, right?
Skull and Bones.
Mm-hmm.
Common denominator pops up.
Mm-hmm.
When you say Skull and Bones, you talking pirates.
Oh. See, I didn't even make that connection, but that's what they do in piracy.
Right. Now, this
Mm.
is also being told to us in the public domain with an Admiralty flag.
Mm. We
The
at water.
Admiralty
We still at the
flag is
sea.
right. The Admiralty flag staked on the land under salvage law of the high seas to pillage the people on the land. Who idea was it? It had to be a pirate.
Mm. And who was the best pirates?
The conquistadors.
And who are they? I'm trying because they in the
The
comments dropping who it
right.
is. I'm yeah.
Conquistadors is Blackamoors and Tawny
Uh,
Moors, right? The
right.
Tawny Moors is the figurehead, the front of the Blackamoors. The Blackamoors don't want to be seen. So they put the Tawny Moors up to do their dirt because they relatives.
Yeah, because Morris is the one who showed them how to get over here.
Now, when you go back to Cortez, what's the first thing Cortez did when he got to South America? Start killing motherfuckers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out the gate, that's an open declaration of war.
Yeah,
Who ended the war?
they did.
Where you find that at? You read anywhere where
Oh,
somebody
where it
ended this
ended?
war?
Nah, they ain't said it ended.
Nobody said it ended. The contract was predicated up on the ceasefire.
Yo, okay. Now that's starting to click. Okay, so you keep going, keep going.
So now you have to go to something called the Paris Accord. The Paris Accord is known in the Moorish community as a treaty of peace and friendship.
Mm.
And if you look at the Paris Accord and the motivator for it, what motivated it? It was a ceasefire agreement because the British was robbing the Moors on the high seas when they was returning with wealth that they had captured over here.
Oh wow.
In turn, the Moors, the conquistadors, was robbing the ships of the British when they got done robbing the other Moors.
Wow.
Right? All this is in the paperwork. This is actually the backstory. They was fighting each other, and they fought to a stalemate, And when you at a stalemate, in order to start over with a new chess game, you both have to see the game is over. Now we got to start with a fresh game. The fresh game is the new contract.
Mm.
The new contract is an agreement between the British and Crown and a corporation called Al Marak. The corporation known as Al Marak headquarters was in a city called Fez.
Mm.
Fez is the capital, or one of the major cities, I should say, of modern day Morocco. But modern day Morocco wasn't Morocco before the 50s. What was it? It was grouped in with Tunisia and I think Algeria or Algiers as what they call Al Maghrib, right? The problem that they have, they already got kicked out of Africa. Now Europe is kicking them out of Europe. They need somewhere to go, right? Now, their offspring can be seen. Tipper Tip, prime example, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can look at his history because the Arabs is the initiators of the transatlantic slave trade in the sacking of African villages to get what they called black labor. They called it black labor because anybody that's classified as a slave mean they have a debt, and debt equals slavery equals death. So you become blackened by being captured under the rules of war.
Yeah, and yeah, I keep telling people we were prisoners of war. The Indians were just prisoners of war. They couldn't have killed all of us.
Right. So the whole time since 1492 to 2012, we've been in a perpetual state of warlock.
Mm.
When you locked in war, you don't have access to your wealth. So they created the fiat to put levies and liens against the estate of the POWs.
Right.
Under the idea that they're never going to realize that they are the actual heirs to the estates that we are holding hostage. They're not going to realize that. And at the close of the age, had they not come to the realization that this they shit, they forfeit for lack of a claim.
Mm.
Right? Because at the close of the contract, all debts is due in the following Jubilee year, 2022.
Now, is the go around with that is the fact that they didn't give proper disclosure, or would you say they gave disclosure? We were just looking in the wrong places for the disclosure.
They've been telling us the whole time exactly what they was doing to us, but it was coded.
Mm.
We didn't know how to read the code, and that's why they had to make sure that they constantly reiterate ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you don't know the code, nigga, go learn it.
Mm-hmm. That's what they didn't want us reading.
Right. Now, the other reason they didn't want us reading is because if we ever figure out what a legal dictionary is, a medical dictionary, and an etymology dictionary, we are going to have the blueprint to unlocking the entire puzzle. Right? So, when the leadership that's organic to the land is held indisposed, that means that they can't walk the land as free men and exercise their jurisdiction. Right? If they can't exercise the jurisdiction, they have to call forth the next available chief to look at the problem and see if he can figure it out. Hey man, I need you to come over here and look over this legal work because I'm seeing something, but I can't quite make out what I'm looking at. Right? So then we go through a series of passing the problem around to different chiefs. This goes back to Noble Drew Ali saying in the Oral Statements and Prophecies, I'm going to leave these people in power long enough for y'all to learn how to run a government. When you understand in the legalese, the deceptive language of legalese, and how it is cross-referenced with etymology and how it is also cross-referenced with medicalese. You cross these languages, and then you unlock the colloquial language, the common language. In this case, is American English. If we was in London, it would be the Queen's English. It's a different English, but they both
Mm-hmm.
English,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, we don't just the authority on what we call colloquial modern English is Noah Webster's dictionary. That's the authority. The authority for the Queen's English is the Oxford University Dictionary, right?
Mm.
And the Hans Word Dictionary of Etymology is the encyclopedic dictionary set that they never want you to get your hands on. That's now you look at the price of
Is
the
that the
book.
one that's crazy? Yeah, that's the one that's crazy expensive.
Yeah, when you look at the price of the books, anything that will accelerate our learning and seeing the problem is priced out of our reach. We can't pay, we can't afford that money, right? The average person don't have the time because they keep us occupied with trifles, with trivials, and they keep us emotionally masturbated for the ones that's righteous enough to stand up to the enemy. They gave us something called religion. So
Mm.
Noble Drew Ali wrote in the Circle 7 about a religious controversy. So that was my warning not to get into religious controversy with anybody because it's dogma,
Mm-hmm.
which takes me to Albert Pike. Albert Pike is the one who generated the dogma for the Red Lodge, Scottish Rite, 32 Degrees, Honorary 33rd, masquerading as the founding father that we call George Washington.
Mm.
The real George Washington was born in Barbados.
I was gonna say,
The
wasn't he kind of?
fraud, the fraud is allegedly born either in Virginia or France, depending on which angle they want to send you on. He's born in both places according to their records. In France, they called him Adam Weishaupt.
Mm.
You know him as the founder of the Bavarian Illuminati. But when
Mm.
he's over here, we call him Albert Pike.
Mm.
Now, the pike is a fish, right? This is a code because they told the so-called Christ told his disciples, I will make you fisher of men.
Right.
In order to catch fish, you need hooks. So King James said, watch the letter J because it used to be straight. Now it's a hook.
Now it's got a hook.
The funny thing about it is James is Ionis in its original form, Latin, but when you translate it into English, it becomes James. But the definition of it in the original language is fish.
Wow.
It's also the same James Jones, which is Jonas or Jonas.
Mm-hmm.
Jonas is like saying more than one fish. It's a plural,
Mm.
right? So when you start looking at these things, you're like, wait. This is not right. This is incorrect. So then he'll say, hey, I'm going to call a couple of my brothers over here and see if they see what I'm looking at. Because this can't be what I'm looking at, because if this is what I'm looking at, it's telling me a particular direction that somebody is coming at us. It's a warning,
Right.
right? The side effect of the religious controversy is another chapter called misery. Misery is the thing that keeps us from seeking the liberation because we would rather be comfortable under control of somebody else than to be temporarily uncomfortable to be under our own control.
And having to fend for ourselves.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. So now we face with the dilemma: upset the peace to establish justice and be uncomfortable for a period of time in order to give your descendants eternal comfort, or go along to get along and wait till it fall apart and hope that you get something out the deal. Them the only two positions. So from what I was looking at, I said if I make the claims,
All I got to do then is start having the different chiefs on the land come look at this. Hey, ain't the contract is up. Now, the only way this contract not up is two ways. They held up every part of the agreement, which we know they never held up a single part. We can't find a treaty that's ever been honored because all of them is in litigation as we speak. It wouldn't be in litigation had they been honored.
Right.
So now that give us what we call superior claim on the contract. The only problem is we have to figure out how do we apply superior jurisdiction in order to secure a superior claim. We have to follow the laws of nature and go back to our original culture. They gave us a remedy in their system during the life of the contract. But when the contract expired, the remedy expires with it. So they never honored it, which means that I can close the contract out at any time I become aware in my life that the contract is predicated up on fraud, deception, and the theft of the wealth of the nations, and that the intentions is never to honor the contract. The last one, the intention to never honor the contract, becomes self-evident. That means it presents its own self as evidence based off consistent actions from the occupier to never honor a single contract. If they've never honored one, they continuously make them, they never honor them, but they always hold us to them. That means that they never had any intentions of honoring any other contracts. Right? It proves itself. You don't have to prove it.
Right.
Show me the contract they upheld. Right? Nobody never foreclosed on the first contract. Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Right? Now, this is what's upsetting to the Moors that didn't understand what me and Taj was talking about completely. Because Noble Drew Ali the contract was in 100% effect. So he gave us both the remedy and the solution at the same time. Right?
He's the one that was teaching everybody about the 1099s, right? I'm not saying it was him, but
well, he didn't take it that far. Right? What you get with the Moorish literature is that's all he got. Anything else is in the Moorish newspapers that's now almost impossible to find unless you go find them on microfilm in the old library. But there used to be a daily Moorish newspaper that the Moorish Science Temple put out, or the Moorish Temple of Science used to put out under Noble Drew Ali. Those are been defunct. They've been closed down. There was also a group of Black Star Press had a newspaper that came out. I think his was weekly under the UNIA. In a lot of those, you still have to go to microfilm to find them, but they're there. Right? And so, but the Moorish literature is telling us how to navigate the contract until we in a position to run the government and claim the contract and overthrow the government, the imposter government. It's not our shit. Right? They holding us under admiralty jurisdiction. They holding us under salvage rights. And they listing us as the property of the landmass that crashed into their ship. The claim is preposterous on its face.
They listen. That's right, what Malcolm was saying was the Plymouth Rock. We land on Plymouth Rock.
Yeah. So now, if it's ridiculous on its face, all we have to do, one of us, walk in there and say, hey, that's ridiculous. That don't even apply. Nobody did it because nobody knew it was going down. It didn't happen over here. It's called the Paris Accord because it wasn't signed over here. It was signed in Paris.
Right.
Now notice, in Paris, you got the Eiffel Tower. It's a homonym. The name of the city of Paris is Parthodon of Isis, or Par-Isis for short, or even shorter is Paris. That means it's the city of Isis. Right? So now when we go, that's telling us to go back and look at the Isis story. Who fell? Osiris. Osiris fell at the hands of who? Set. Just Inky and then live.
I was just about to say that's the same exact story.
Just Inky and then live.
Right.
Right? So now Horus becomes Tahuti because he is the firstborn of the earthborn, parthogenic son of Isis.
Mm.
And that's what made them call her Mary, the rebellious woman. Because she went on about her business and made a male child without consulting with the masculine figures who wanted to subjugate her and her daughters. And he would be the champion of the mother and the sisters, and be the firstborn of the earthborn, parthogenic male sons of the women of the earth. So when you see Tahuti, he's coming just to get the women back their shit. He don't want nothing. The women gonna take care of what they need to take care of, and Tahuti is just gonna facilitate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm facilitating my ass off.
Tahuti thought.
Mm-hmm. Right? Now all of the codes, they tell you Isis, but the character should be Moses. When they tell you Moses, the character should be Isis. That's what we don't get. The Isis character in the New Testament, the name Isis is Jesus. Iesous. Right? But if you don't know that the contract is a riddle, and the riddle, right, is a key to the kingdom. And the kingdom is the kingdom that comes at the closing of the age, the last days. Right? In order for this to be effectuated, you have to be a Melchizedek priest. Well, I'm a graduate Melchizedek priest under Malachi Z. York. Right? As a Melchizedek priest, now I can exercise the rights of the priesthood to claim every priesthood. Right? So now I need a political degree. That means I had to get a law degree without getting a degree. I had to learn enough law to get a degree, but don't get the degree. I don't need the paper. I need the knowledge. Right? Now, once I got the priest degree, and then I got the law degree, right? Now, all I need is the understanding of the workings of the tribe and the family. The leader of the family is the KNG. No vowels in there. Notice that.
No I.
No vowels. KNG. No vowels. Because when you transliterate it, you got to add vowels according to Grimm's Law of Grammar. Now, in Grimm's Law of Grammar say all vowels are interchangeable in translation and transliteration. Right? So now I look at the word KNG. Most people see king. I see Congo.
No vowels. So okay, gotcha.
Right. So when I add the vowels in, I added two O's. Right? KONGO. Everybody else they selfish.
Think about that.
So all they're gonna put in there is an I. KING. You ain't gonna get there because the key is the Congo key. Every landmass have a Congo. But most of us don't know this because we need to see ancient maps in order to know it. The average person is never going to see an ancient map in their lifetime. So we can't expect them to figure it out. So Big Mama going to have to pick a son, one of her boys, whose only job it is to figure this shit out. And then between Big Mama and Mama, they going to put him in the condition where all he can do is learn the required lessons of how to read the culture to find the problem.
Right.
And sometimes it requires you to be put in prison for a while. What you going to do with it? They throw you in there. You can't escape the time. It's going to be there. Even if you escape the prison, they going to come find you, lock you up, and give you more time on top of that, and make sure you don't escape no more. You run on for a long time, but sooner or later they're going to chop your ass down because you can't outrun the long arm of the law.
Right.
This is what they tell us. Right? So you get two options. Study the problem until you figure it out, or Run for it. Run, Forrest, run. Right? And so here we are, those who don't know me and don't know how sincere I am. I want all our people to get all of their shit. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. But if they want us and they got a nickel somewhere and 2 pennies, I want them to have their nickel and 2 pennies, not because I just want them to have it. It's their shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody got a right to their own shit that they already earned. Right? So even if they don't agree with me, I don't care. If you got something coming, I want you to get whatever the fuck you got coming, good, bad, or indifferent. Right? So when we get done putting the statuses in the public domain, what do you mean, Rod? This is all it is this simple. You go on your social media so you can have the time, dated, and stamp.
I got a funny story about that because you told me this. You put it on your page like a few months back, talking about just post this, write your name in this little blank section, and put it on your IG. And I'm like, man, that shit too simple. But I do know the
African
understanding behind
proverbs
because they
say,
was doing that back on Facebook a minute ago. Like, no, I do not agree to this. You just putting it on public record that you don't agree to. Maybe a new law that dropped or whatever.
now all of the women over 50, specifically those are seniors, 65 and older, need a representative in the family. That means if you know, if you about your business, right? Everybody got a sister or a cousin that know that paperwork, how to keep business stuff in order, right? The eldest female that the most of the people in the family can trace back to that's still living is the heir. All of the wealth is always coming through the motherland, but the right to reign as the alpha male comes through the fatherland. In the only way, that's why you got to have both the blood and the rights. Because before, the people without the blood stole the rights. So now you need the
And that's what
blood.
they was showing. You ever watch that show, Lovecraft Country? That's what they was showing in there. How they basically stole. They ain't had the bloods, but they stole our rights, our lands, even our magic. I don't know.
Now, okay, Lovecraft Country. Go to how they did it. They stole the family's grimoire. It's the family's book of life. It tells you who is who in the family. And they have clues in there how to recognize them when they come back.
That's why they've been looking for the Messiah.
They know where he at. The day he born, they know he being born. They already know from the stars and the alignment. Okay. Certain people born, all of the stars align in order to tell a story of who this individual will become if he makes it to maturity. That's how they kept killing the chiefs off as children. That's why they made what we call black on black crime so prevalent in the community, because they ain't allowed to kill us, but guess what? They can put us up to kill us. They can put me up to come do something to you for their benefit. As long as I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to follow through with it because I'm a ride or die motherfucker like that. But soon as I find out, hey, wait a minute, that's my brother. Who is these niggas? Now I'm the problem. I'm the worst nigga. I questioned these niggas and nobody else was doing it. Right? I'm the problem now. So I'm not going to participate in their games, and I step back and say, I don't want no parts of it. And then all the other chiefs saying, hey, we need some help with this problem. And you just sitting there. What you going to do? Right? Because all of the chiefs is on deck. There's nobody that's not involved in this shit. Whether you know it or you don't know it, you either part of the problem, part of the solution. There is no middle ground. You either one of the righteous or you one of the wicked. You either part of the motherfucking wheat or you the motherfucking chaff. There ain't nothing in the middle. Ain't nothing in the middle.
Facts, yeah.
I don't give a fuck what your skin like, how tall you is, how fat you is. I don't care if your nose run all day, if you got red eyes, green eyes, blue eyes. It don't fucking matter.
Right.
It's only two positions on the board: the right position and the wrong position. I don't want to be on the wrong position. And anybody that's willing to be righteous in the right position, I'm all with that. I'll teach you everything you fucking want to know. And if I don't know it, because I don't know everything, I ain't that smart as I might seem to some people. I just study harder than everybody else. But if I don't know it, I'm gonna go find it out so I can help you.
Has a protection of said trust, which is the difference between being in the public trust and your strong man and being within the private. Let's say, for instance, if you were with the mosque or the NOI, you know what I mean? You would have the protection of those groups of people. So if you could expand on that, and then the difference between the OOR and the UUR, please.
Well, the UUR was Amaru. It was AMUURU. The Amaru is the tribal designation that they trying to say is the same as a MOOR more. They not the same, right? When you look at the Moors, they try to get anything with an M and an R in it out of history and say, see, we was ancient Moors here. And the word be something like Mirafaka. That's not Moor, you know. Like for instance, a good one is the Kemetic term mir. The Kemetic, they say this is the Moors, the mir. Well, you motherfuckers is some spaceships. Because that's what a flying apparatus is, a mir in Kemetic. It's the same thing in Hebrew. A mir is a ship, a plane, a flying apparatus. That's not the same thing. Then they try to use that as the dogmatic influence. Remember, Albert Pike issued the righteous the challenge between morals and dogma. Was you going to pursue the moral path or the dogmatic pursuit? Let's go back to a little history lesson. Let's go back to when the Moorish Temple of Science, a civics organization, was formed. When the Moorish civics organization was formed, it was formed to give us a tribe in the public domain in a system that they had no jurisdiction over. But somebody inside of the lodges signed some kind of a contract that made you become a U.S. national more. If you look on the back of your nationality card, it's going to say that this Moor is a U.S. national. That's a contradictory idea in and of itself, in that the U.S. is a foreign corporation masquerading as a de jure agency of government, right? So who is these people? They come in the legal fashion, they barristers. Barrister, if you look it up, is a title of nobility. And in the barristers union, you have honorables and esquires in rank. Esquires are the ones who are practicing the arguments on the floor. The honorables is the ones who sit and referee the argument between the two opposing sides in order for the barristers to get done administering the estate. The estate is governed by the lords. The lords are the landlords, right? Lords is a title